I love August. I was just, Robert and I were talking about, man, we love August. August is the Aggies' favorite month. It's before we played one football game. We're undefeated right now. So, that whole feel of optimism as you get back, start school, and across the state, every team's undefeated, and nobody's gotten a bad grade yet, and every meal in the cafeteria is seems like a fresh idea right now. So, and I happen to believe that all that optimism is well placed, and what you all are doing right here and turning this school around is a great example of it. That our education in Texas is steadily improving. It's when you look at how we've done on the ACT test and the upward movement in several key indicators. For example, Texas has been recognized as one of only 4 states in the nation to be closing that achievement gap in math. Rob was talking about how that the program you have here to bring in the assistants with the tutors with math. I mean, man, if you get math right, then everything else comes along pretty well. And on our advanced placement test, for example, student participation is up 170% since 1999, or I should say, in the last 9 years. The number of passing scores on that advanced placement is up 140%. And we got one of the highest overall numbers of students in the nation taking the SAT test. And the percentage of first-generation college students taking that exam is higher than the national average. So it's the teachers and administrators and the parents that are kind of getting our kids focused on taking that next step and taking that SAT test. And the number of Hispanic students taking the SAT has grown by 105%, Joan, since 1999. And so to continue us on that upward progress path that we're on, I've proposed a couple of ideas. They're actually technology-driven initiatives, including the creation of a virtual high school. It basically will leverage the concept that we put in place called the Virtual Schools Network to keep our students on track for graduation. From time to time, as I say, one dropout's too many, but we have approximately 10% of our students that drop out, and how we give them the opportunity to get back into get that degree and give them some flexibility on how to do that. And one of the ways we propose by giving a sales tax credit to businesses that have young people who are working for them to get them back into either a virtual school or back into a classroom, and giving them these businesses a $1,500 a year credit on their sales tax, so that the businesses have an incentive to get these young people back to get their diploma or their GED, and keep increasing the number of students getting focused attention in math, in science, in technology, in engineering. I think it's time for us to exponentially expand our STEM academies, and I'd like to see that number double, Robert and Senator, since we're going to be talking about it during this legislative session that's coming up. And I think it was 5 years ago, Robert and I together announced the STEM, the original STEM program. We funded 51 of these remarkable schools across the state, and to ensure that we have the teachers necessary to go into those classrooms, I've called also for an expansion of the You Teach program, and that invites higher level math and science students into the teaching profession. And so as we look at ways to create new teachers, we need to make sure we're also continuing our investment in our current teachers, and to ensure that they're up to date on the latest technologies, the latest techniques, expanding their knowledge as they go about guiding you to that next level in life. In addition to the training that they do every summer, we need to ensure that Texas teachers are sharing best practices with their fellow teachers on an ongoing basis. That's why today I'm announcing a new initiative. It's called Texas Education on iTunes U. I bet most of you have an iPod in here, right? A few iPods stuck around in here, I would bet. It basically is going to take advantage of Apple's very popular system and to easily and efficiently distribute Texas-based educational materials to teachers and parents and students statewide. Robert and I were discussing this, I want to say it's 3 or 4 years ago. We were in Cupertino, California, sitting down with the folks at Apple and discussing with them content and how we could better access that content. And this program is going to bring a lot of materials together, and basically using that pretty familiar interface, teachers can share ideas across the state. So the teacher right here in Sharpstown, who may need a little assistance in teaching a really tough concept, they can see an innovative approach that somebody else might be using somewhere else in the state. And I got an idea we'll see plenty of contributions from folks who teach in the Apollo 20 program, especially when it comes to math, as we were talking about earlier. In addition, teachers can access an increasingly robust selection of multimedia materials, like for instance, audio recordings of Texas history. Texas Education on iTunes U will feature content produced by state agencies, by museums, by nonprofits, and many more ways to bring that content all together. And a lot of that content may already be out there, but it's either overlooked or it's hard to access. And this will really consolidate that information where it's easy for the teachers to be able to go in, and obviously easy for you all to access as well. And I think it's going to be, whether it's professional development for the teachers or obviously content that you all are going to be using, bringing teachers together, even in this virtual way, will foster innovation, and it'll spread encouragement and giving best practices a chance to become widespread practices. And in that spirit, I'm also announcing the Governor's Knowledge and Skills Challenge, and this online challenge hosted by TEA is going to encourage teachers to present innovative approaches to teaching math, and the reward's going to be they're going to end up on your iPod. They'll be showing up right there on Texas Education and iTunes U. So these new initiatives are a way to keep growing stable ideas and concepts that'll keep improving Texas education, securing our position as the best place to live and to work and to raise a family. And so as we continue to put you students first and our economy, by doing that, our economy is going to stay strong, and we're going to continue leading this nation.